guys, it's Lisa here. I'm coming to you for my second Facebook Live. Thanks for jumping on. I'm gonna give myself just a second to get set up here. I think I am right on time because I'm kind of try to be crazy like that. I'm just gonna get this all set up on my computer and wait for you guys to jump on here. There we go. Oh, that's me, look. All right, so just want to make sure that this is quiet on here. First, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Lisa McCarthy, and I am the founder of youraddict.com, which is a place where I educate women that are looking to start or grow their own clothing line. And I take my knowledge from 15 years in the corporate fashion industry, and I'm really bringing it to designers like you to help you flush out your ideas, get started with making your product, and eventually bring that to market. Today we're going to be talking about 5 prompts to narrow in on your ideal customer. Last week we went over really aligning your personal values and vision with your product niche to make sure that you are creating a product that you're crazy about. So if you haven't watched that, jump on over to youraddict.com blog and check out that post. There's the link to the video and the worksheet there. Today we're going to be diving a little bit deeper and talking about looking at who that customer is, really as a person, what's their demographic and what do you know about them, so that you can start communicating to them in the right way and building product for them that they're super excited about. So want to make sure that you guys have the link to the worksheet. I'm going to see if I can drop it here in the comments. That might take a little bit more work. I dropped it in the notification, so if anybody needs that, drop me a comment now and I can send you the link to where that is on our resource library. Sorry guys, I should have had that queued up here. Okay, so if you have got that workbook with you, either print it out or just have it in front of you so that you can start taking notes, even if it's just in a notebook. I feel like there is so much value to writing this down as we go along. So the first thing in the workbook today is really narrowing in on your demographic. So last week when we talked about what your product idea is, you were starting to think about something you were really excited about based on your own values. And now we need to really flush out, getting a little bit deeper into who is that person that you're ultimately going to be serving. So on the first page, I really have some prompts around what that demographic is. So what are those quantifiable characteristics about your customer? So they are like, what is the gender? What is the age? And I know that a lot of people struggle with giving a specific age. They'd like to say, well, anybody can buy my product. I'm serving people that are 20 to 50 years old. But what I want you to do is look at who is your ideal person. If you were making your product for just one person, what's that age? And we know that people a little bit younger and a little bit older are probably going to buy that. But write down really right now, focus on if you could have your dream customer, who would that person be? So what's the age of that person? I also want you to think a little bit about what their household income is. This is going to be really important for you to understand what your customer can afford, as well as what other things they're doing in their life to make that income. So if they are a really high income earner or a high income household, their life is going to look a little bit different than somebody that is in a lower income. They might be spending more hours at work, so they might be spending more money on actually making their lives easier. So they might be doing more food delivery, they might be doing more, paying for more childcare, and if they're in a lower income, they might not be able to afford that childcare. So their life is going to look a little bit different. So it is really important for you to think about what that number is, not only from the perspective of what can they afford from you, but what can they afford in their life, so that you can speak to them in a way that's really meaningful to them. The next guy I have on there is education level. So what is your ideal customer's education level? This is something that I also think people really struggle with. Why is this important? But you are really the most similar to the people that you spend the most time with. So people kind of travel in these packs of people that have similar income levels and similar education levels. So really, if you're talking to a group of people, it's probably not going to be hugely disparate in terms of what their education level is. So is that somebody that's currently in university? Is that somebody who has completed a bachelor's degree, somebody who has completed a master's degree, somebody who has completed some high school, all of their high school? It's really important to think that through. There's no right or wrong answers here, but it is something that you want to think through in terms of designing for and speaking to your ideal customer. So again, write down on the in the workbook really who you think that ideal person is. The next one we have on there is marital status. So I think we've all noticed that the age that people are getting married at is really pushing later. Once people are forming households, a lot of their disposable income goes into different avenues. So before they are getting married, they have a lot more disposable income that they're spending on travel and eating out and fashion and really people's independent interests. And then as they are marrying, forming households, having children, their money's going to a lot of different things. So their money is going to kids' activities and daycares and paying to go to your friends' weddings, and your vacations start to look like going on vacation to go to a friend's wedding. So your money really goes in different places depending on where you are in your life, and then looking at marital status is a really good way to really understand where your customer is sitting. Occupation is the next one. This is important to look at just from the perspective of how many hours they're spending doing this, and also what type of person is it. So is it somebody that's a creative individual and works in a creative profession? Is it somebody that works in a more corporate setting and has more sort of strict requirements about what they're wearing to work, if that's what you're focusing on is sort of their work wardrobe? Is it somebody that's a stay-at-home mom? Is it somebody that's a work-at-home mom? Is it a baby and they don't have an occupation? But you need to start thinking about who the person is that's buying for that baby and what their occupation is. Just again, focusing in, getting super, super clear on exactly who your customer is. What's their family size? Is it an individual that lives alone and doesn't have a spouse and children? Is it somebody that lives with their extended family? So in different cultures, there are definitely more of a likelihood for the grandparents or aunts and uncles to be living with them. Or is it a standard like mother and father and 2 kids, or what does that look like? So just kind of wrap your head around what does their home look like. And again, that's going to tell you about what types of experiences they have in their life, where they spend their money, and how they go through their days, and what you can be providing to them that's going to add to value in their life. The last one that I threw on here is religion. So it's not one that in Vancouver and Canada we think about a whole lot, because we're not a very religious culture, but there is an opportunity for people to be thinking that this is something that is a really important way about how you speak to your customer. So if this is something, if you are marketing to Christian moms, it's probably important for you to be putting that down on paper. So those are just really like the trackable data points about your customer that you want to get onto paper. No right or wrong answer. Write something down. It's a place to start, and you can always refine that. So jumping into the next page of the workbook is the day in the life. So I'm just going to pop over here, make sure that everybody can see me. Hi. Okay, we're good. Day in the life. So the next thing I want you guys to do is similar to what we did in last week's exercise around creating the vision for your personal life. So last week we talked about what does your ideal day look like? Where are you? Who are you with? What activities? And this week I really want you to think about maybe not the ideal day, but the most common day for your customer. So what does their day look like? And consider again the same things. What's their personal life? What are they doing for work? What does their living space feel like? How do they take care of themselves? What does their health routine look like? Do they have a health routine? And again, sit down and take 5, 10, 15 minutes to just get it out all on paper, from when they wake up in the morning to, are they waking up to a morning routine that is becoming really, really popular for people, where they're journaling, or they're doing some reading or some meditation, or going to their workout, or do they have children waking them up in the morning, or are they up and out the door to an early job? So that looks really different for different customers, but think through what they're going through and kind of write out their whole day. So what does their home look like? What type of environment are they in? Are they in an urban environment? Are they getting in and out of the car a lot? Are they on transit? Really think through every single thing that you think this ideal person is experiencing in a day. And even getting clear on that, of what the ideal person that you're designing for is going through, is going to give you like, oh, hey, I guess I never really thought that this person is getting in and out of the car 8 times in one day because they're going to all of these different things. Maybe that there's a solution in there for the way that I'm dressing them. So really think through that. That's probably one you're going to want to sit down and do offline, but I'd love it if you shared with me back on my Facebook page or in my Facebook group if you had any insights out of that, thinking about what your person's doing in a given day. The next thing that I'm moving on to is problems. So what problem does your customer have in her life, his or her life, and how can you make that easier for them? So this is really going back again to what we talked about last week, is really looking at, are there any challenges or complaints in this person's life that they may not even realize that there is a solution for? So going to personal experience, something that I guess I talked about last week is this, like, finding the perfect t-shirt problem, that I need something that's super easy wash, super easy care, because I am doing laundry constantly with young kids and I don't have time to be going to the dry cleaner. I don't have time to be ironing stuff. I just want to be able to throw it in the washing machine, throw it in the dryer, maybe wash it on hot because the kids are having like gross stains and stuff on their clothes and you just kind of want to get everything cleaned out. It all goes in together. So that's a problem that I have, is that my t-shirts will wear out. So what's a good way to solve that problem for people? So think about how your customer is living, how that's creating problems in their life, and then start to just kind of brainstorm and dump those all into your workbook there around what problems are they having. So if anybody wants to share, kind of, if you're thinking about some of those problems and you can't even think of a solution, you just want to share, hey, I noticed my customer is going through this. Other people, I'm sure, in the group would love to brainstorm. I'd love to brainstorm with you. So drop some comments and we can start to think about maybe some possible solutions for them. So that's the next piece here, is you might have a really obvious possible solution, and it might be oh, it would be really cool if it did this, but I don't know how to do that yet. That's fine. That's actually great to throw down on a piece of paper. Okay, a possible solution is a more durable fabric, or a possible solution is to have everything pre-shrunk so that when you throw it in the hot dryer accidentally, you don't have to throw it in the garbage. Those are really like obvious like clothing ones that everybody's sort of starting to think about, but also think about what are those problems that they're having all day, every day. You know, they're trying to suit up their kids to get out the door and it takes 30 minutes to get on the pants and the jacket. Is there a faster way? Can you build a faster outfit for a toddler that they're going to be excited about putting on, and you can actually get them in it really quick? So you're solving the problem of how long it takes to get out the door with a toddler by building a solution that's quick to get on them. So lots of different ideas in there, but again, stay really focused on who that ideal customer is. And then also think, if there is a caregiver in the situation, what problems is that caregiver having if they're the one that's ultimately buying? So think about who your purchaser is in that. The next one we're skipping down to is emotion. So this is shifting a little bit from who your customer is day to day and how they are, to how do you want them to feel when they interact with your brand. So this is starting to think about knowing that your customer is I go back to this because it's me and I know it. Knowing that your customer is a busy mom, how do you want her to feel when she interacts with your brand? So do you want to be like that shot of like joy and that shot of, oh my God, I'm not the only one, and that ease and convenience that she's looking for? Those are some of the things that you might want to brainstorm some of those ideas and throw them in the what you want her to feel when she's interacting with your brand. So do you want her to feel recognized? Do you want her to feel like you have easy solutions for her life, not just in the apparel range, but for everything about her life now that you know it so well? So start to throw those feelings down onto paper. And what's going to be really important is, as you're building out that customer profile, to really tie back all of your product and messaging to leading towards that feeling. So if you want her to feel excited and playful, use bright colors and use fonts that express that. Use packaging on your product that expresses that. Make sure that you actually have a range of color in your line if you want it to be fun and playful. If you want it to be something that's more professional for her to wear to work, and you want it to be like easy, no-brainer, you can wear this to a board meeting, then you're going to want your whole brand to express that professional, put together ease, and not have hot pink hang tags and silly memes and all of that kind of stuff. You're going to want to slant towards a more professional look. So that's something that you're going to want to weave through your whole brand experience. So that was really just talking about the emotions that you want your customer to feel when she's interacting with you. The next one I'm going to jump over into in the workbook is talking about engagement. So now that you know who your customer is and what you want her to feel, I really want you to think about authentic ways to start engaging with her. And the best way that is working right now for clothing brands to engage with their customer is really through social media. So what are the platforms that your customer is using? Depending on who that is, they're in different places. So I want you to really think about, if you're making suits for men that are over the age of 50, they are probably not on Instagram. They're probably on Twitter. They're probably following all of their sports reporters that they like. They're probably getting the latest news all on Twitter, and Instagram's not their place. So don't spend your time there. If you are talking to a mom with a 3-month-old who is sitting on the couch nursing and has her phone in her hand, she is probably on Instagram. That's probably a great place to be with her. Really understand who that person is and where they are, so that you're spending your time in the right place, or else it's just a bunch of wasted effort that's not going to pay off for you. So write down in the workbook what social media platforms your customer is on, and if you don't know, go and ask these people. So if you are thinking about doing suits or casual wear or golf clothes for men that are a little bit older, go and talk to your dad, go and talk to a coworker, go and talk to your friend that is in this age group, and really ask to see their phone, ask to see what they're on, ask where they're spending their time and why, so that you can really start to engage with these people in the right place. The next is really to start thinking about what kind of content does that person share on their social media. So start following these people so that you can really see what they're excited about, so that you can meet them where they're coming from. So if it's a group of people that is really, really comfortable sharing what their kids are up to, or are they sharing their food, are they sharing their workouts, are they sharing their home decor, these are the things that are really meaningful to them. So going back to what we talked about last week around people's personal values, whatever your customer is focusing on, and you can say what they're focusing on is what they're sharing in social media, is what they're valuing and what they see as important. So if they are valuing healthy eating and exercise, then health is something that's a value to them, and you can support them by sharing information and content with them that's going to help them live their values. So the first thing was to see what content they're sharing, and then what content are they consuming. And they probably go hand in hand. In Instagram, you can be looking at what types of photos they're liking, what types of people they're following, so that you can see what type of content they're engaging with them. And then knowing that and knowing who you are and who you want to be and serving them, you can start serving up content to them that is going to add to their life and actually make their lives better. So you can start giving her that content that she's looking for, which is starting to generate ideas on the bottom of that on that page there, really talking about engagement. So could you be sharing, oops, sorry guys, I'm getting a little notification here. Could you be sharing the new healthy recipes for them? Could you be sharing 5 new workouts that are coming? Could you be sharing morning routines for somebody that is really looking for to add health and wellness to their life? Sorry, just skip down to the last one. There we go. So that's really just to give you some ideas around how to be building engagement now that you've narrowed in with that customer. I think a lot of people put off this engagement building until they actually have product to sell. And I strongly encourage people to be getting out in front of your customer, talking about what you're doing and sharing relevant content with them even before you launch your line. So set up your Instagram account, set up your Facebook page, and start seeing who's following, follow them back, check out what they're up to, and then start crafting content to share with them so that you can really, really speak to them in an authentic way. And then when you do have something to sell, they're going to say, oh my God, of course I would go and buy it from this person. They know me, they know my life. Of course, they're building product solutions for me that would serve me best. So that's everything that we have in the workbook today. If anybody has any questions or anything that they want to throw up on there, I'm happy to answer them. I'll also be popping back into my private Facebook group today to answer any questions. If you guys want to post them in there, I would love that. If you found this video helpful today, I would love it if you shared it on Facebook. I'm also going to be posting it up to YouTube, so you can check it out up there. And then pop on over to youraddict.com for all of my blog posts and to check out a little bit more about what I do in helping female entrepreneurs start and grow a clothing line. Thanks so much for joining me today. See you guys later.